tell you a bit more about what I'm reading. I just end up my last vlog here and I'm starting the new one right away. Hey, come say hi. I'm at my parents, so I have my cats with me and I'm enjoying it so much. So like I said at the end of my last vlog, I'm still listening to King of Crows. I'm 85% in. It's the 4th book in the Diviners series, and I'll let you know once I finish it, all my thought. I think I'm gonna finish it this week, so you have my thought in this vlog. I absolutely want to start Vicious by V. Schwab because it's been like 5 weeks. I have this book with me from the library and I still haven't read it. And so I really want to prioritize this book for my next read, my next physical read. It's the first book in the Vengeful or Vicious series. I have to know more about it, but it's basically, from what I know, it's two bad guy superhero fighting each other, kind of. It's like a young adult novel, so yeah. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I haven't read any V. Schwab, and apparently she's a super good author, so I'll let you know what I think about it. And I completely forgot to let you know in my last vlog that I'm reading an ebook right now. It's a reread for me. It's a fan fiction. It's a Harry Potter fan fiction. It's called Turn by Sarah's Girl, and I've read it maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I really enjoyed that fan fiction. And I just finished my reread of all the Harry Potter, so I thought it would be nice to reread that fan fiction as well. And that's it for now. I'll let you know more in the rest of the vlog. And okay, see you another day. And afraid of everything. It's just the camera. Oh, we. Okay, I'll let you go. So, alrighty, guys, it's Wednesday evening and the light is going down, so it's gonna be dark soon. So, yeah, I wanted to update you about the King of Crows. I finished the book, and it's quite hard for me to wrap my thoughts around it and put a rate on it, rate the book, because I love the universe, the atmosphere of the book. It's like coming home. I really enjoyed the story, the characters. I'm usually not a very character focused reader. I'm more like a plot focused reader, but those characters, I really identify with some of them and the whole group, and I love reading about them. But toward the end of the book, some choices were made. During the whole book, the path of the book was very different than the other ones. The other ones had some a story to unravel before the end of each book, and the background plot will still move along with the 3 books, but each book has its own story, like kind of Harry Potter, you know, like you have we have to kill Voldemort, but then in Sorcerer's Stone you have the Philosopher's Stone actually thing to find out, and then you have the Chamber of Secrets, blah blah blah. It's kind of the same thing in this series, but the last book, the 4th book, didn't really have anything to follow, so the whole path of the book was quite slow. When I was toward the end of it, it was like, come on, nothing happened, like, can you please move along? And then they move along way too quickly, and some stuff happened, some twists happened that I'm really not fond of, that I really don't like. And yeah, it ended and I was like, I wish it ended in another way. But Libba Bray is still an amazing author, and critique of the society and the parallels between the 1920s society and today's society is fantastical, and she really made me thought about how we act in a group or in society. And for me it's a really important topic to talk about, but didn't really enjoy the plot. And if you can have the audiobook version of this book, it's fantastic. I've been saying it every single time I mention this book, but Libba Bray, January Lavoie, the narrator of the book, sounds like a whole cast, and it's only one woman's voice, and it's amazing. She does different accent and everything, and it's wonderful. I really love her narration. And yeah, so that's it for The King of Crows. I've been listening to Agatha Christie, The Body in the Library. It's a Miss Marple story, and it's maybe the third Miss Marple story, something like that. And it's one of Agatha Christie's favorites, I believe. I just finished it right now. I found it on audiobook on Script, so I decided to listen to it during my drive, and it just took me one day to actually read it because traffic jam. Anyway, I quite enjoyed the story. I wanted to see, I only read another Miss Marple, so this was my second one, and I'm not a fan. I'm definitely not a fan of Miss Marple. So yeah, there's a top 5 Agatha Christie online platform website. They have how do you say, a ranking, or they're like the top picks to read in Hercule Poirot and Agatha and Miss Marple. So I think in Hercule Poirot they recommend 10 books, and in Miss Marple they recommend 5 books. So I think I'm gonna read the other 3 in that top 5 to really have a good idea of what I think about those books. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be a Miss Marple fan. But the story was good. So yeah. And I'm trying to make my way through Vicious. The problem is that I have a hard time picking up reading books, like physically reading books now, because I have a lot of work and I spend a lot of time in the car, so I don't read that much. But I really want to try, because I have to give this back by Saturday. By Saturday, and we're Wednesday, and I am to chapter 3, so 25 pages in. Almost nothing. So I want to read right now, maybe till section 1, section 2. The chapters are super short, and I really like that, because it makes you feel like you're reading super quick, and then you're like, oh, the next chapter is on only 1 page, so I'll read that and then I'll stop, and then the other chapter is just 1 page, so I read that and then I'll stop. So you end up reading way more, I feel like, than when the chapters are huge, massive, and you're like, I'm gonna stop now, because if I start this chapter, it's like 25 pages and it's gonna take me forever. So anyway, I'm rambling now, so I'll let you go, and I'll attend to you later. Hey guys, it's me again. I wanted to let you know something. If you're a fan of Agatha Christie, there's a super nice show called Les Petits Meurtres d'Agatha Christie, or The Little Murders of Agatha Christie in English. And it's a show made in France with French actors, but it's translated to English if you want to watch it in English. And it's super popular among the fan of Agatha Christie. And they they're loosely based on Agatha Christie's book, but they are placed in the 50s, in the late 50s, with completely different characters. You have the same structure in terms of like who dies and why did they die for, like the global intrigue, but it's completely other set of character, and it's super funny, super light. So if you want to check out this, if you're a fan of Agatha Christie, I really recommend. I'm gonna watch right now, because I just finished The Body in the Library, and I wanted to check out the version of it they made for the series, and they're around like an hour. They're like a movie, an hour and a half, something, maybe a little bit shorter. But yeah, I'll show you the beginning so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. So yeah, that's it. And the characters are so much fun. I love it. Alright, you guys, it's Friday, and it's the first time I'm filming this because I did some stupid things. Anyway, forgot to turn off my car. I am so stressed. I had a crappy day, and so I decided to treat myself and go for a little hike around my house, around where I live, and like be in nature and like try to relax, because it's the beginning of the week and I should enjoy that. And as a treat, I decided to start Words of Radiance by Sanderson, the second book in the Stormlight archive series. So last month I talked about The Way of King and how much I loved it. And even though for now it's not my favorite series of anything, it could become my favorite series. So yeah, I have the graphic audio version of the other book, where it's a super nice, it's a full cast with like sounds effects and stuff. Their ad is like a movie in your mind, so should be super good. I'm gonna start that as I walk. And for my other reads, I am currently reading Vicious, that I have to give back to my library tomorrow, so I'm not sure I'm gonna finish it by tomorrow, but I'll try, and I'll see if I can maybe find it as an ebook on Scrib. I hope so. For now, it's pretty good. I'm 70 pages in, so not that far, but it started to become quite interesting. So we follow a character called Victor in two different timelines. One, while he's in uni, he's kind of like in a college for genius or something, and he has a roommate called Ellie, and they're trying to experiment on EOs, extraordinary people, I believe that's what it stands for. Pretty much superheroes, like people with powers and stuff. So they're trying to do that themselves. And then you follow Victor's 10 years later, has he just busted himself out of prison, and you don't really know what he's doing, but you pretty much know that he got powers anyway, but you don't really know what they are, and so it's quite intriguing. And yeah, I'm intrigued. I am enjoying myself fine. So yeah, I'm gonna read that a little bit more before tomorrow. And then I'm listening to Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen, which is gothic romance classic. You follow Catherine, who is just a young girl who never pretty much left her parents and where she lived. She's quite well off, but she's not like in super high society or anything. And some neighbors of her, I believe, proposed to her to go with them for their summery holiday. They spend it in, it's called Bath. It's like a place where pretty much all the nobles gather up and try to meet up some boys or girls. And so yeah, you follow her as she is introduced in that type of society, and you get to see that. And I think Jane Austen in this is trying to do a critique work of the novella and heroines in novella around that time, but I'm not really sure because I'm not that good at English literature. So I want to read reviews when I'm finished to try and understand a bit more the depth of the book. But yeah, before reading this, it was recommended to me to actually read at least Jane Eyre or other Jane Austens before reading this, and I think it is for that purpose, so I would recommend that as well, definitely, to read other Gothic romance before reading this. And yeah, Catherine kind of meet what we think is a nice guy for now, but she's kind of taken away from him by her close friend that she's just made and her brother, and those two are the most hateful characters I've read in so long. I don't know why. I hate them so much. I have such a rage every single time I have to read about them or listen about them. It's just like, I don't know where it comes from, but I just I'm listening to it while I'm driving, and I just want to scream because they're annoying me so much. It's just that they are so selfish and whiny and liars. Like, they're trying to portray themselves as such nice people, but they aren't. None of them their action actually are, and they're just and the main characters is just so nice that she's like, oh yeah, they say they're nice, so they must be nice. I don't know why. It's been so long that characters like that hasn't like went under my skin so deep, but I don't know what it is about those two, but it just I hate them. Anyway, now that I'm all fired up again, I'm gonna go have a nice walk listening to the Words of Radiance, and I will show you some sceneries and stuff while I'm walking. It's super windy, so it might be a little bit cold. I have my sweater, don't worry. Was a nice walk, a lot of wind as you could see, but very nice, a bit fresh by the end as the sun was going down. It's 12 degrees Celsius outside, so not that warm and not that too awful for March. So yeah, I've listened to I think one chapter of the prologue of Words of Radiance, and I really enjoyed it because it followed one of my favorite female characters, that is Yasna Khalin, who is the sister or daughter of the king that has been assassinated in the prologue of the first book. So that's why I'm telling you it's no spoiler. But yeah, it was quite interesting, and I hope we'll get to see more from her point of view in this book. I really enjoyed her, so I hope we'll get to see more of her. Anyway, I'm tired, so I'm gonna go to my home, cook, read, and sleep, and I'll talk to you later. Are you quite alright here? You have a nice view, a nice room. So I'm back. It's Saturday, and as I've been saying all week, I needed to go to the library, but as I got there, they were closed because I don't know if you know this, I didn't either, but the president chose to close all of the schools and uni in France till further notice, so they decided to close the libraries too. I don't know what kids are going to do for so many weeks, but anyway, I could only give back Vicious, but I couldn't get any new books, except I booked one and I reserved, and I asked them very kindly. Sorry, my cats are fighting. I asked them very kindly if they could give it to me, and they did. So I got one book, and then I was so sad that I couldn't just gaze about in the library that I went to my favorite used bookstore. It's called Gilbert Joseph. I took some clips. I don't know what they're going to be like, but I'll try it, insert them if I can. They have a section with books in English that I love, so sometimes I go there just to see if I can find something new or like a book I'm looking for and buy it like even cheaper because it's used and it's local, so I don't have to pay fees for shipping and stuff. So I got some new books and I wanted to show them to you. So from my library I got Andrzej Sapkowski, the Witcher series, the Tom 2. I've already read the Tom 1, but like 1 year ago, and I don't know why it took me that long to actually read the other one. And I usually like to read in English, but when it's actually written in English, and this book is written by a Polish author, so it's written in Polish originally, so if I'm going to read it in English or in French, it's gonna be translated work anyway. And as I'm a very, very slow reader, like physical reader, I'm quite slow. So at least in French, I'm a little bit quicker than in English. So I got it in French. And I don't know if you have those edition back where you live, but in France we have those very nice new edition, and I really like them. So that's the Sword of Destiny. Or I don't like titles when they're translated in French. It sounds so weird. But if you want to know, it's The Witcher is translated by Le Sorceleur, and the Swords of Destiny is translated by L'Épée de la Providence. So yeah. So this is on my TBR for this month. So I want to read that once I'm finished with Vicious. I am still reading it even though I don't have a physical copy anymore. I found it on Scribd, so I'm reading it on my ebook. And then for the ones I bought one for my mom as a gift. She was talking to me about Confucius, the Chinese philosopher, a few days ago, and I found this gorgeous book about Confucius and his work. So yeah, it's this one is actually new, but it's because it's going to be a gift for my mama. As I was roaming in the secondhand book area, I found this book called The Girl in Translation by Jean Kwok. And it's the story of a girl that immigrates to New York with her mother. And I don't know what time period it is, but I think it's a contemporary. And I just quickly looked at it on Goodreads, and it had quite good rating, a 3.98, which I think is quite good for Goodreads. And it seems quick, and I love to read different culture, and I love New York, so I thought it would be a nice quick read for another time. And it was only like €3.20, so cheap. And I finally found, not finally, but you know, I've been doing this French classic buddy read on my channel. So at the end of last year, I gathered myself and thought about all the French classic I wanted to read or reread, and there is a French classic that is quite well known on YouTube and that I never read before, and some of the intrigue is actually set in Marseille, and I've known this for the longest time. I visited places based on this book when I was at school, because that's what you do, and I never actually read it. And I wanted to buy it, but it's a huge book, so when I'm buying books as new, I want the right edition that I like, because I'm gonna put my money in it, so might as well get the edition that I like. And I hate French book, especially the mass paperback version usually, so I tend not to get them. They're so small and hard to read, and it's so written so tiny and stuff. But anyway, as I was looking in the bookstore, the book manager stepped in front of me and put that book where it belonged. And I looked at it, and it was The Count of Monte Cristo. And I was just like, this is a sign. This is the edition I want and I was looking for so long, and I should just get it. And it's only €6.20. So yeah, Le Comte de Monte Cristo, I really want to read it. Like, look on the cover, it's the view from Marseille, the prison on the island, which is Le Château d'If. So yeah, I'm super happy I got it, and it's only the Tom 1. There is 2 big beasts like that. Why am I doing this to myself? I don't know, but I'm super excited to read it and to share my thoughts on it. If you want to read it with me, leave me a comment, so I'll put it up on my TBR and try to read it like in April or May. So yeah, let me know. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap up here. I'm gonna summarize with you everything I've read this week. So I finished The King of Crows by Libba Bray. I listened and finished The Body in the Library by Agatha Christie, which is a Miss Marple story, and it was fine. Not my favorite, but fine. I am still like 50% in Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen, Gothic romance classic, and I'm having mild fun as with any other classics. I'm still reading Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I'm probably I turned the 100 pages mark last night, so yeah, I'm enjoying myself too, even though we are moving a lot between timelines and gets a bit tiring at some point. And I am listening to Brandon Sanderson, Words of Radiance. I am only in chapter 8 in the part 1 of this book, so yeah, I'm not that far in. It took me a little bit of time to get back in the world and remember the actions at the end of the last book to really gather back everything, because I waited a little bit before starting it, but now I'm back at it full on and I'm enjoying myself. And then something just happened and I'm super sad and mad, but yeah, if you're reading it, the end of chapter 7, I'm so sad. Anyway, so yeah, that's it for this vlog. I'm going to start the next vlog tomorrow, because tomorrow is election day in France. We're going to elect our mayors, and so I wanted to take you with me, so I will be starting right away tomorrow and you will see it in a week. All right, I'll let you go now, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know by letting me a like or comment under the video. I would love to know your thoughts if you have read or reading or want to read any of the books I've talking about, and I will see you in another video. Bye!